In the studio tonight, Professor William Hobbs.
Well.
Get in where you fit in, people. 888-550-9105. Thank you so much for coming in.
Exactly.
So how are you tonight, sir?
I am fabulous.
I'm so glad to hear
Absolutely fabulous.
And on the phone, now can I pick it up on my side? On the phone, we have Miss Max Alexis.
Hey.
Hey, Diva. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, she is on the West Coast.
Yes.
And there was no way to get her here, so she is on the phone. Okay. You know me, if I could have got her here.
But remember, I am a hometown. That's my hometown, born and raised in Miami, so.
Yes, indeed. And so, for those of you who don't know, I really am big, if you are in the state of Florida, about being in the studio, because there's a certain energy. When people are live, when we're all together and we're chatting, it's a good thing. So,
yes.
We won't talk about those who were in town but couldn't come in. Anyway, Max Alexis is a mom and self-proclaimed co-parenting specialist. She's known on social media as your favorite baby mama for her real and funny point of view on co-parenting problems, which is also known as baby daddy, baby mama drama. She's born, of course, right here in Miami. Is a single parent and is the youngest of 5 girls. She's been featured on the daytime show The Real and college campuses in the Los Angeles area. Currently, Max is a mentor and public speaker while working on several projects for film, television, and digital media. She lives in LA with her daughter and dog, Maya. So please welcome her to the show. Now, a lot of people here, of course, know you from Baby Mama Drama, because that was published when you were here, yeah?
Yes, that was. Are You a Crazy Baby Mama was my first book that I wrote. And now I just wrote this second book called #Manfast.
Yes. So give them a little brief on what #Manfast is before we get into it.
Well, pretty much it's based on my personal experiences with my child's father. There was a point in my life where, like over 5 years ago, I lost my job, car, and home within a matter of 10 months. And during that time, I had to move back in with my mom and still dealing with the relationship with my daughter's father was ending. And so I had I guess you can say a spiritual, emotional, physical, and spiritual awakening. And I just really had to take time for myself. And during that process, I just said, you know what, I need to take time for me. And what's the one thing that's keeping me from exceeding to, where I need to be? And one of those things was dating and relationships with men. And so I decided to take a man fast. And that man fast was about 3 years. And during that time, I just learned about myself and how I was, how not having my father in my life and just addressing those issues and acknowledging
Well, speak to the church, why don't you?
Yes, and all of the drama that I was having with my daughter's father was because of some of the things that I went through that I never really addressed. And so that time frame, during 3 years that I did not date, I was dating myself. And a lot of people don't know how it is to date yourself and to really know who you are outside of a relationship. And all the relationships that I've been in, I've always been that person to give my all to everyone else, but I never gave to myself. And I felt guilty giving to myself. And so this was a time for me to really learn how to be selfish. And so that's one of the things I learned. And during that time, I learned to really co-parent better. I don't believe in co-parenting a relationship. I believe in co-parenting experience, because sometimes when you're the only one co-parenting, you have to figure out how do I make this experience better, because the relationship is over. We're not together anymore. I don't want him. He don't want me. So let's not call it that, because a lot of people think relationship, you still belong to me. So I think that confuses people. So I say don't call it a co-parenting relationship. Call it a co-parenting experience. And so I just learned how to experience better. It's not perfect, but it's better for me and my daughter.
Yeah, and you chuckle, Mr. Hobbs. And I think a lot of people, that is great advice for a lot of people who are in that situation, that they still think that they're having a relationship, but they're really not. It is an experience of raising this child that we must do together.
Exactly.
And yeah, that is a greater point of view, because then I can't tell you how many crazy baby mamas I know. And then, it's funny. There's there's a meme going around on social media of this woman who goes off on her husband or her ex, the baby daddy, for getting the kids a haircut. And
yes, I did see that.
Have
one.
you seen that? Mm-hmm. We'll send it to you, William. It's horrible. It is absolutely horrific. And because the baby mama, she is not taking care of herself. Those of you who've seen it know what we're talking about. But that woman, would you agree that she clearly
don't have business of her own.
Right.
And wasn't that the one with her mom there too?
Yeah, her mother's there, and then the children start crying, and it's a mess. And she's going off on him because he got the boy's haircut without asking her permission. And and the children are just crying, and it's just, it breaks your heart that this woman is that damaged and is
very damaged
and is raising those boys. Mm-hmm. That's a whole nother show.
Yes, it is.
we could talk about. I'm going to grab one call. Ike just chimed in. Hi, Ike.
Hey, how you doing, Jill?
Good. How are you? Welcome to Hot Talk.
I'm okay. I called because this is an interesting subject to me, because I happen to be a parent, and you set up to do co-parenting, but when the woman has, I like to say, more power than the man, and she used that against him.
When you say power, what do you mean? Money?
When the kid lives with the woman.
Oh, okay.
And,
yeah, when the child lives.
Primary.
Yeah.
Right. You're paying child support and everything, but however, the law still sits on her side as it relates to when you can see the kid, when you can deal with the kid. I just like to know, is there any laws out there for men to assist?
This is Max.
Oh, goodness. Laws for men. That's another show. I'm going to find out.
Got to be another show.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I will find out, because I'm sure that is. Are there laws that exist for the other parent?
Right.
Well, yeah.
Men in particular.
All right, thanks, Jill. I'm going to continue to listen.
Thank you, darling.
All right.
Okay, father's rights are abused. Ingrid B. chiming in from the ATL says father's rights are abused every day. And let me just say, well, I have both of you. Is she there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Well, I have both of you here. We were talking about something else, but while we're on that subject, I've always been one who, I had because I think my mother had such a hard time getting child support out of my father, that I've always wondered about that drama. I just have a very vivid memory of being about 9 and being in court with my mother, crying and trying to get my father to pay. He hadn't paid child support in like a year. And I remember her getting dressed up in shabby clothes to go to court.
Wait a minute.
I remember
Wait a minute. Okay. All
to
right.
plead to the court.
Go ahead. Do your thing.
To get.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
Wow.
To get him to pay the child support. Now, this is a woman who went to Saks every Saturday. Okay.
Wow.
But just as sure as I'm sitting here, I remember us going to court and her putting me in some. I'm like, what are we doing? But yeah, it's some of the limit. I mean, the levels that women have to go through in order to get men to step up to the plate and do what they're supposed to do. A lady named Madeline is okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I want Madeline. I love you. It's midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So listen. So one of the things that you all have in common that I wanted to share tonight. I'm not gonna force a man. Oh, Ingrid says I'm not gonna force a man to take care of his child. Ooh, anybody want to chime in on that one? 888-550-9105. But one of the things we were talking about tonight, one of the things that you all both have in common is that you have self-published and are effectively your own brands. and have done really well in shaping your own brands. And I hear people talk about it all the time now. Several people have told me, when are you going to get your brand together? And I'm like, yeah, as soon as I figure out exactly what it is, I'm going to get it together. But I did want to talk a little bit about that, about building your personal brand. Because it seems to start with a book.
I would definitely say you already have your brand. Your brand is your personality.
Well, okay. Well, I guess I need to figure out how to package it.
There you go.
That's it. I need to figure out how to package it.
A
exactly.
product that embodies your personality. Right. Something, okay, this book, who? She? Trace? I know what this is about to be.
But that's the whole thing. You would never, people I don't think would ever, if they read my book, they'd be like, oh my God, are you serious? From me, Jill Tracey, radio personality, they've known for as long as they have, when they hear my story.
Well, that's why I'm so looking forward to helping you bring that story about.
How do we get there?
I'm so glad.
Pepper on line one. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Pepper?
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you, Pepper?
I'm just fine. I just wanted to chime in regarding not making the child's father pay. It's just too much time consuming, going to court, taking days off from work. You losing more time, and then the court system drags it on and on and on for years and years and years, and you're not getting anything. So, I have a relative that's going through it right now. Her kids are like 26, 27, 28.
Wow.
And she's still going to court because she feels that he needs to pay. And she has lost time from work since they were kids, and she's still fighting this issue. When do you give up? She said she's not giving up because he needs to pay, and she want to make him pay. So he has businesses, but they're not in his name. So what do you do in that instance? You're going to still be losing time from work, taking your sick time and utilizing that sick time, or all your vacation time just to be going to court. I think the court system has failed society. I didn't take my husband to court. I decided to stay with him until my kids got grown. And once they got grown, that's when I left. I mean, a lot of people can't endure that. But
boy, bye. Tell them, boy, bye.
Middle fingers up.
Okay.
But see, I was raised differently.
Right.
So, sometimes, when you grow up, I'm young, but I grew up old school with my parents and my grandparents. And when you have family reunions, your family reunions teach you values and certain things about your spouse or your husband. So a lot of people are not raised the same. So for me, it is.
Right.
And I was okay with it. As soon as my youngest child got older, I was out.
Yeah. Listen, Pepper, I love it. I love it. And I thank you so much for sharing it.
Okay.
Thank you, babe. Max, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So that is certainly, I know that I don't think after, I'm trying to think about our own situation. After that, I think my mom gave up. And, I've just always said that if my father, after with that, he tried to call me. He did call once.
I was wondering about that.
In 40 some odd years.
I was wondering about that.
Well, and then when I went on that reality show, they, got a private investigator and they found him. And then I had to go. I went to meet him and the whole thing. And that lasted about 90 days.
I can't wait to read this book.
Yeah, that lasted about 90 days. But I'm telling you, people will be like, seriously? Because it just, I think the reality of my experience and, how I have used it to my advantage are two entirely different things. Mm-hmm. So you're right. The story is there. It's coming. I promise. Absolutely. It's coming. It's coming. When I can get through a whole page without, then I'll know we're there. So listen. But in reference to you guys, we didn't answer the question about when you are, particularly you, Max, as well, because I remember. I'm trying to put my mic back together. I did something. I remember when you left Miami. Mm-hmm. Going out to LA. It was right after you had given me some really sage, good advice And thank you again. And you were like, I've just got to go out here and try it. I've got to go out here and do it. The try was not in it. I got to go out here and do it. And so you, so I want you both to kind of share how you. Now, I didn't share with you. William's book is Ultimus Primed. He's been on the show, and we talked about Darius, who is the main character in the book, who. So he has. Well, you tell him. You give him the synopsis in 30 seconds or less.
Okay. Darius James is a womanizing divorce attorney here in Miami, having a good old time, if you know what I mean. Suddenly, he's stricken with a medical disorder that limits him to only 100 more orgasms for the rest of his life. And needless to say, it changes his world around and makes him a lot more serious about relationships.
Yes.
Very. Yes.
So we were talking about Max is just like,
Yeah, exactly.
It does. But that's the thing I love about the book is that it makes everybody stops to think like, oh,
hold on.
Wow.
Wait a
that
minute now.
certainly would change the way I deal with people.
Absolutely.
And who you deal with. But he and I were talking about, the most important thing when it comes to building a brand and the brand of, who you are. So I'll start with you, Max. And I think it's applicable to anybody who is venturing to do something as an entrepreneur. And how you build the business, whatever it is, to highlight what you're doing.
Yeah, I feel like for me, building my brand, as I was going through what I was going through, I didn't know it, but I was building my brand through that because I felt very passionate about, baby daddy, baby mama drama because it's a cycle. My mom was a single mom. I'm a single mom, and some of my sisters were a single mom too. And so I was thinking, I was like, well, how do we stop this? I have a daughter. I don't want her to be in my situation. And so once, Facebook and all those other social media started really coming up, I started beginning starting a fan page and just trying to reach out to other single parents to see, because am I the only one going through this? And
right.
Connecting with other parents made me realize they thought the same thing, that they were the only ones going through it. And some of the posts that I used to post on Facebook, some people were like, is my baby daddy your baby daddy? Because we're going through the
same thing.
And so that's where I just started really building on that and just saying, people always, call the child's mother baby mama. So I was just like, well, I didn't like that phrase, but then I'm like, I got to twist it because I'm not your typical baby mama. I'm a college graduate, I'm a public speaker, and that sort of thing. And so I'm redefining what a baby mama is and trying to break through and try to, get the word out to other moms that you don't really have to. I understand you being crazy, but be more crazy towards yourself.
Right.
And, the mom that's still going to court and her kids are 26, that's a hurt woman. I should say,
right.
Because I feel like by the time my daughter turned 6, I was good. I understood that, okay, I am not going back with this man. What do I do from here? Am I going to continue with the drama? Am I going to continue on, living this miserable life, trying to make him miserable while making me miserable, and then our child is suffering in between? Or do I take a bold step, move out to a place that I want to live in Los Angeles and pursue my goals and my dreams? And that's what I decided to do. And so through that, I build my brand as your favorite baby mama because I tell the truth. I tell my truth. I speak on how, my child support orders $49.50 a week, and, I have to be good with that.
Okay.
And that sort of thing, and it's just giving my real, and it's also healing because now I feel that even though I lost everything,
right,
I'm better emotionally, spiritually, financially, and physically. I may not have it all, but it's better, and it's not perfect. And I used to strive for things to be perfect.
Yeah.
Now that's my brand, is just being that woman that can speak for a whole lot of moms that don't really are able to speak, and maybe give a word or two to these dads who aren't in their kids' life, and finding out what is going on through that mother. Why is she going through the way what is she feeling like that you're not there, and why she says the words why does she call you a deadbeat? So I give those things, and so that's part of my brand.
Well, you know what, and as you were talking, I feel like a great cross section of your brand is going to be with Malik Yoba and his new film Bad Dad Rehab.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely gotta reach out. So now it's interesting because now. With Max, she is her brand. But you and I talked about, your thoughts as opposed branding yourself as an author or branding your characters.
Well, I would have to say I was building my own brand unknowingly, being a professor.
Mm-hmm.
You wind up discovering that kids, no, I picked you, I heard about you.
Mm-hmm.
What is for other English people? No, I heard about you. You crazy.
Okay.
That's what I come here for. Well, what do you mean? You joke, but then it's like Chris Rock. You laugh and then I get it. Oh, you're the funny one, but I can work with that. So you watch students and how they gravitate towards you. It's like, okay, well, if I went out in the world and I added this to my writing, this is what I would get back. And then you realize, okay, well, I do love Dave Chappelle. I do love Chris Rock. I do love Key and Peele.
Mm-hmm. Hey, maybe there's something there, right?
Not only that, but I used to love Ebony Man magazine. I have all my copies still in my storage right now. It hurts me to my heart that there's nothing like that as far as I'm concerned out there when I go to the magazine rack. It's, the Inquirer, there's Essence and all this other kind. There's nothing for a brother. So I feel like I'm like the walking embodiment, a little bit of Double XL, a little bit of King if you're little frisky, a little bit of GQ, a little bit of Men's Journal. Bam. What Every Man once was with a little bit of paprika on it.
You know what I did? I really didn't think about that. But what black male magazine do you read?
The only thing I have right now as far as the social media, Very Smart Brothers, VSB.
Well, that's online. I love them.
Loving it.
What is there a magazine targeted to black men that you read, Mark? No? Rodney?
Do black men read?
Oh, do black men read?
Oh,
That's a show.
Some of them.
What are you reading, black men?
Hopefully my book. That's one of the reasons why I'm writing and I have my brand.
Oh my goodness. Well, let me see if I have any black men on the phone here and ask them what they're reading. Ike on line 2. Hi. Welcome to Hot Talk.
Hey, Jill. This is Ike again. I'm back.
Okay, so do you have any magazines? Can you think of a black man's magazine, or what do you read that is targeted to black men?
That's a negative. All we can do is read the newspapers these days and try to take out what assists us.
Exactly.
That is very interesting.
I'm listening to the show, and I hate to say it's a male bashing, but there are a lot of fathers out here that want to be and trying to do the right thing.
No, we know that. That just happened to be my experience and Max's experience. Which in no way, please do not take it as male bashing. There, William Hobbs is a great father. Who is right? Well, the other two are single. Okay, Mark is single, and the other one is too young. So, no, under no circumstances. I think that I know that there are lots of beautiful, beautiful men and black men that are taking care of house and home and their children. So please don't get that impression.
Yeah, we just haven't made a magazine for us yet.
Right. There just is no magazine to share that. So that, somebody out there with an entrepreneurial spirit, you might want to consider that. Because it really isn't. And even Very Smart Brothers is really not tailored to that. It's just, It's Very Smart Brothers talking about pop culture, which, I really love. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Ike.
I'm saying everything is about this pop culture thing. The reality-based things are not there anything where the father is in the house, where there's a family that's together. There's nothing out there. Not even the TV shows have it like that anymore.
No. Well, what one of William's comments is that the most revolutionary thing you can do is have a family and stay together.
Yeah.
And I think that, a lot of young black men, really are not thinking on the same level as apparently you are. Ike.
And I would like to know what state does she live in that she only gets $40-something child support.
Well, when I got the order, I was living in Atlanta at the time, so I just left it alone at that time. At that moment, it was just, I just wanted it in place because that was one of the biggest arguments that we had was about money. That was even when we worked together, our arguments was based on money. So I use the child support system as a positive thing so that it can alleviate the arguments, and that was one less discussion I had to have with him. And once I got that, it is what it is, and I don't want you to think that I'm male bashing, but I'm just showing that you got to make your situation better. And so that's how, how it started was in Atlanta. And so I just left. That was over like 5 years ago I got that order. So I never really went back to get it modified or anything like that. And it's okay.
It makes sense in Atlanta, though, because they really don't give you jack. In Atlanta, I mean, you can rent is $700.
And they based it on him not working, so they made it below minimum wage at that time, and so it is what it is.
There you go. Okay.
But the experience is better for me because I don't have to talk to him now that my daughter's going to be 16. It's their relationship themselves. So he has a relationship with her, so there's no point of us even talking or arguing because now it's all on him to make it happen with his daughter. And if he's not in her life, that's on him.
Right.
And so that's what I'm trying to spread the word to other moms is like, at some point you got to let it go and let him be the dad in the child's life. Dads, I try to give that word to them as well.
Yeah. I thanks so much for your call, darling.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good one. Denise on line 1. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk.
Welcome. Thank you very much for having me. Mm-hmm. Hello to everyone on the panelists.
How you doing?
Hello.
It's a blessing to hear the young man who answered the phone. His voice was so sultry, it scared me. I was like, am I calling Hot Talk?
Was that you?
A very sexy voice.
Was that you, Rodney? He does, girl. He's 13 years old. He has a voice like a grown man.
The young lady who I'm speaking, Dr. Hobbs, congratulations to you on your book.
Thank you.
I was getting ready to write a book, and I wish he could have heard this topic tonight, but he's working.
Well, you know what? You can send him to the podcast on the Hot 105 page. It'll be up tomorrow. He can listen.
Okay, thank you. Mm-hmm. She has a story that's so similar to mine. I mean, my son is grown now. He's 24. All that child support stuff out the window. I couldn't wait till it was over. And I was living in Atlanta trying to have the child support cut off. And it was coming out of Florida, court ordered. And it wasn't much money. It was $79 every 2 weeks. And he took me through the meals for that money. And I'd rather for him to have had a relationship with his son rather than the little $79. Now, the funny thing is with child support, they don't care. They just want to get a check because they get a percentage of it, no matter whether it's a couple of dollars or whatever the person is paying. However, when he got 18 or 17 and they got ready to cut the child support off because he was getting ready to graduate from Booker T and he was down here with his dad, I sent him here purposely so he could get a chance to be with the dad.
Right.
However, now what happened, child support wanted to go after him and put him in jail because they didn't know he had an additional job since my son was 9 years old, and I never reported it. They sent a modification to ask you every 3 months if you're not happy with the money you're getting, please apply for it. We don't do that. All mothers are not interested in child support. It's just a principle that he cannot be without pay, or either the woman, whoever's the missing parent, the non-custodian parent. And so he came after me. He said, what kind of Christian are you? What church you go to? You can't be a Christian. They're getting ready to take my license. I said, well, you should have handled your business years ago when they told you to go to custody court. And he did not do it. So child support could be a good thing, and it could be a bad thing. depends on the parent.
It's like
Yeah.
all things.
Yeah.
The
Depends on who's involved.
mental level of the
Of
parents.
the parents, yeah.
I wasn't interested in child support.
Right.
But at the same time, what is $79 going to do for a woman? Like she said, you got a
Right.
college degree, you make money. That's no money, but it's for the parent, the parent who's running wild and not taking care of their responsibility and leave it on you.
Right. Thank you so much for your call. I appreciate it. On Facebook Live, they are having a lively conversation.
I see that.
Well, right. Ingrid says being able to have children doesn't mean you should. Ladies, sometimes you wake up pregnant. That doesn't mean he wants you now. Father's rights are abused every day. That's between him and God. I'm not going to force a man to take care of his child. And then she goes on channel. Oh, so then she and Karen are talking. Karen Bass says, I'm with you on that, Ingrid. You shouldn't have to. He laid down willingly. Now you got to chase him to take care of a child he willingly created. Shaking my head, a bunch of excuses. Your show guest as well. Pleased, I don't know. I was lucky I had support, but even if I didn't, I wouldn't have run him down. I think, she, Ingrid and Karen are both kind of saying, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Are both saying the same thing that, regardless, they're not going to force a man to take care of a child that they don't want to take care of. And, that ended up being our situation. I think that was the last time she went to court. After that, I think he paid for a minute and then he stopped again and was like, boy, bye. And then, but see, and unfortunately, in this situation, many years later, when we did finally speak, I was like, well, unless you thought I lived in Bangladesh and sent that money on the back of a turtle, I never got it. I'm just saying. And he had no answer for me. Hi, Al. Welcome to Hot Talk. Al.
Sister Jill, my sister and audience, may God continue to bless you and your audience. I tell you, could I just say this much about yourself? You've had enough programs since you've been on to educate the schools.
What? Thank you, Brother Al.
The families and all that exists, because your customers, your callers that call in, they are very, very educational, and it just shows you where the solutions to our problems are going to have to come from.
Yep.
And I just want to say the messenger, the man I believe was Christ. I got to give an account of myself.
Amen.
He told us to get a knowledge of self, God, and the devil, the ways of God, the ways of Satan. And when you go out your house, don't start off left, right, left, because if you start out that way, there's no relationship, none, no relationship, no marriage that's going to be perfect, because you're starting off in the wrong way. And we was always told when we went out there with those papers, he said this: respect all women as though they were your mothers. And you can't get no higher respect than that if you look at women. And it's going to call for a lot of discipline, self-control. And he said, learn what is right. And when you go out there, start off right, left, right. And you're going to see more success than failure. And what I wanted to say is you've had enough programs on it about the C word, culture, color.
I love it.
Yeah, Christ, church, cops.
Yeah.
Children.
Yes.
And also your callers and what they've said. And don't forget about the word. The last time I was on, I told you about the word curse.
Curse.
Now, there's such thing as blessing and curse.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start off left, right, left, you're going to end up being cursed. If you start off right, left, right, you're going to see the blessings. And that's what you've been so instrumental in bringing in. And I'm serious.
Thank you.
Schools throughout America can take your programs and what you've discussed and what your callers have given their heart out to in solving these problems can really show you how we should be educated in America.
Wow.
That's heavy.
That's
because
beautiful, Brother Albert.
Family, the school, the churches, and everybody else. If we get that in order, we're gonna be
all right. This is what I'm saying. We're gonna be all right.
You answered your own question. Blessings are cursed, and it's all in our hands, but it depends on the right education.
Yep.
And these program that you've had is enough to really educate people. And it just goes to show you the people that you are attracting on these programs, you got some good callers calling in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very good callers.
And you would be one of them.
we as they say, we the people.
Amen.
Not no president going into the office, sitting there, calling the shots, and then we say it's the law, and then we wait on some man with a gun to come around to enforce the law. No, that's not. That's working from the outside in. The way your call is going, we need to work from the inside out.
Yes, indeed.
The kingdom of God is within you. Also, the kingdom of Satan. So we got to get our lives in order. And look, trust when I tell you, brothers and sisters, that these marriage relationships, don't feel bad. We're not educated right, and they plan on the most powerful forces that are within man, and that is the sex urge.
No, well, and on that note, Brother Al, we are at the top of the hour. I got to take this call. I love you. Thank you for calling. That was I know, Brother Al. That's That's next week. I'll pick up with you and the sex drive. Hi, welcome to Hot Talk. Tony.
Hey, hello, Jill. How are you?
Good. How are you? You are my final caller of the night.
Well, that's a good thing. I want to say thank you for all that you do, and I love that you put new life into this program.
Thank you.
That you're on now, and I love what you do.
Thank you.
And I want to also say hello to your guest as well, to I guess Mr. Hobbs.
Yes, Mr. Hobbs and Max Alexis.
Oh, okay. Hello, everyone. I was really just listening to him when I want to definitely get the book number one. The Renaissance man has totally faded away. I'm in my 40s. I'm a big thing of reading. I love reading. And he's right. There's no articles for the black we got King Magazine.
I was going to say, Larry Dog just said on Facebook Live, King Magazine.
Yes, we have all these magazines that's the hip-hop culture, which is perfectly
right.
Right. We don't have anything that will have a definement of a black.
Sure, and sophisticated.
How to wear a suit, how to look great in a tie.
Absolutely.
Just the black experience as a male, period, and experiences and information. Every time you'll see a black magazine, a magazine like GQ, Esquire, you see the black person, or you might see Dwayne Wade or someone like that. That's that article. Everything else is pretty much a blur because it doesn't reach to who we are as a black man. Mm-hmm. You'll read about, his different things or like that, but there's none. And we need to really start putting that back on to have some type of publication for black men. We need that. And I think it might be helpful for today's men as well.
Yeah.
That's what I want to talk about.
That's exactly what I'm writing. That's exactly why
Thank you so much for your call.
Absolutely. And I would go so far as to say that's why I'm helping other people with their stories, black men and black women. I'm a literary coach, and if you're interested in me helping you bring your book to life, hit me up in my email at williamhobbs247@gmail.com.
And where can they get the book?
Oh, they can get the book on Amazon.com. A Taste of Fate, Ultimus Primed.
And Max, where can they pick up Manfast?
Amazon.com and it's #Manfast.
I love it. Max, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Yes, listen, we got to come back because clearly we have a lot of issues around our baby mamas, daddies, and dramas, and so we definitely, you have some thoughts on that conversation as well, William Hobbs. But I'll hit you this week and let's set it up. All right.
Cause I'm ready to get on a plane and hop back over to Miami, get some grill. Cause
Yes, we'll go. Yes, we'll go to Chef Creole.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
William Hobbs. Yeah, well, we're right here. We can just jump on over.
Okay.
I'm
just happy to have officially shed my Matt Damon.
There you go. Okay, you made it. Right. Yeah. No more Matt Damon for you. And I look forward to having you back. Listen, we got to make plans for the book fair. I think we need to do a whole Sunday of just, writers and great books. Absolutely. And maybe we'll find a black magazine for men by that time. Thank you all so much for listening, for being a part. Shouts out to everybody on Facebook Live. Love you, mean it. And we'll be right back here on next Sunday. Gotta go. Love you, mean it. I am Jill Tracey, and this is Hot Talk on Hot 105.
It's Hot Talk with Jill Tracey. Always live. Always local. Always entertaining and educating South Florida. Heard every Sunday night from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. The views and opinions expressed on Hot Talk, guests and callers, are not necessarily those of WHQT, Hot 105, or Cox Media Group. Our studios and offices are located at 2741 North 29th Avenue in Hollywood, Florida. Join us.